Hello there. As we finish the actual Rebel Alliance capital ship videos, we are now going to be talking about the capital ships of the Grand Army of the Republic during the Clone Wars. And today I thought that there would be no better place to start than with the Acclimator class assault ship that we see during the Battle of Geonosis and throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars itself. So without further ado, here we go. But first, as always, we start with a little bit of a breakdown. The Acclimator class transgalactic military assault ship was designed and was created by Rothana Heavy Engineering, also known as a subsidiary of Quat Drive Yards. The entirety of this ship was basically a heavy cruiser, costing 29 million credits at 752 meters in length, 460 meters in width, and a depth and height of 200 meters with landing gear or 183 meters in flight. The entirety of the Acclimator class assault ships were designed with a Class 0.6 hyperdrive, neutrinium impregnated hulls, advanced navi computers, and armament which consisted of 12 quad turbo laser turrets, 24-point defense laser cannons, and 4 heavy missile torpedo launch tubes, as well as a crew of 700 and 16,000 clone troopers and support personnel as main passengers, along with a cargo capacity of 320 speeder bikes, 80 LAATs, 48 ATTEs, 36 self-propelled heavy artillery, and 11,250 tons of weight. Introduced at about 22 BBY, this ship had particular roles like being a carrier, an assault ship, and a transgalactic military transport ship, and was in the hands of a lot of people, with multitude affiliations like the Galactic Republic, the Galactic Empire, the Zon Consortium, the Alliance to Restore the Republic, the Restored Empire, and the Maw Irregular Fleet. Originally, back in the day, during about 32 BBY, the Acclimator class assault ship was already designed by Rothana Engineering and Quad Drive Yards years before the start of the Clone Wars. As Jedi Master Yoda arrived on Kamino to gather the invasion force for the Battle of Geonosis, dozens of Acclimator class assault ships have already been built and readied for these soldiers, and they were already designed to carry all of these different soldiers, pieces of equipment, and military gear for the Battle of Geonosis to save the Jedi from the arena pits where they were all about to die. The first tests of the Acclimator class assault ships would be during the Battle of Geonosis, where they would prove to be a pivotal matchup in the Republic victory, delivering legions of clone troopers onto the battlefield while a large Republic fleet engaged the Separatist fleet in orbit. After delivering the troops, the Acclimators pulled back to provide orbital support, with only a portion of the ships ending up damaged in the actual battle, while many of the actual clone troopers themselves ended up damaged and injured as well as killed on the battlefield. Immediately after the Battle of Geonosis, however, the Republic ordered more than 1,000 Acclimators based on their success as primary ground force delivery vehicles, and all Acclimator class assault ships were completely crewed by clone troopers, though they would also count regular Republic officers among their crew as the war went on. And in fact, the Acclimator class assault ships were so important that they were literally issued and saw battle in literally every single conflict in the entirety of the Clone Wars. From Geonosis to Kamino to Ryloth to the Battle of Christophsis, all the way to the Battle of Umbara and even Coruscant, where they saw action against the Confederacy of Independent Systems and their main ships. All the way throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars, Acclimator-class assault ships were used in every single capacity possible, and there was no way that none of the Acclimator-class assault ships could see battle in any way, shape, or form. In fact, the Acclimator-class assault ships would be so popular throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars that they would even see time during the Empire, and by that I obviously mean they stuck around for a very long time. The Empire used the Acclimator-class assault ships primarily as troop transports, support cruisers, and orbital bombardment platforms, repurposing their old Clone Wars roles for the Galactic Civil War and for the time of peace between the destruction of the Jedi Order and the restructuring of the Republic into the Empire, all the way to the Battle of Yavin. And of course, on top of the fact that the Acclimators were used as troop transports, support carriers, and orbital bombardment platforms, they were used for a lot more. Specialized roles modified them to becoming massive cargo ships and even slave transports for slave labor and forced labor, and were even patrol and defense vessels used for planetary defenses and for patrolling backwater areas, as noticed in Legends continuity. And while vital to the Republic's ground assault, the Empire phased out the Acclimator in favor of the larger and more versatile Imperial-class Star Destroyer later on down the line. However, the Imperial-class Star Destroyer still didn't have the ability to lift off of planetary surfaces as well as the Acclimator. In fact, it actually got to a point where the Acclimators were actually so popular that they were repurposed by the actual Imperial warlords during the time of the fall of the Empire. These reliable ships ended up in the hands of various Imperial warlords, were utilized by the newly formed Imperial Order during the time of the Second Galactic Civil War, the Yuzan Vong War, the different civil wars with different various organizations and groups, and even by Thrawn. It got to the point where later factions like the New Republic or the remnants of the Empire even recommissioned them to bolster their forces, showing their enduring design. Meaning that both the Republic, the New Republic, and the remnants of the Empire both utilized the Acclimator class assault ships when they were quite literally in the range of being older than most of the ships that they were already using. But unfortunately for the Acclimator class Star Destroyer, it had to be destroyed at some time, and it had to be finally put down. Unfortunately, we do not really know when it was exactly decommissioned and when Acclimator stopped being a part of the main military of both the Empire and the Republic, or even the Sith Army, or many of the other pirate organizations out there in the known galaxy. But what we do know is that the Acclimator class assault ships had a very, very long period where they were utilized by almost every single force out there in the galaxy. I hope you guys liked this video, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this content. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, do it, whatever it is that you need to do, and I will see you later.